Hi class. Now we will be discussing learning objective number 4. That's 9-4. Okay? And we're going to be talking about the transformational and charismatic perspectives on leadership. So that would be leadership through the eyes of the follower. And another recent perspective that has been adopted by some leadership experts focuses on how leaders are seen through the eyes of the follower. So I'm first going to talk about transformational leadership. Transformational leadership focuses on the importance of leading for change. It is the set of abilities that allows a leader to recognize the need for change, to create a vision, to guide that change, and to execute the change effectively. Transactional leadership is essentially the same as management in that it involves routine, regimented activities. Only highly skilled leaders tend to be able to succeed in both transactional and transformational realms. Why do you think? Because one is regimented management, and the other one is I'm in here to change the company because it is needed. I have to be a change agent because without it, the company will not do well. One person that I can think of is a great transformational leader, and he recently passed away, was Jack Welch. What he did with GE was unbelievable. He turned that company around. He came up with something called management by walking around. And that means he went into the trenches with the people that actually did the work and he dealt with them. He had a servant type of leadership that was unbelievable. Charismatic leadership is a type of influence based on a leader's personal charisma. People like John F. Kennedy, Mahatma Gandhi, Mother Teresa, these were all charismatic leaders. Some were more, I would say, aggressive than others, but some were silent leaders, but extremely effective. They have a lot of self-confidence, which we refer to as self-efficacy. That is confidence in their beliefs and in their ideals. And they have a strong need to influence people. Those are the ones that are charismatic. They envision likely future trends and they set high expectations, not only for others, but for themselves as well. They energize others by demonstrating personal excitement and confidence, and they enable others by supporting them. So, some of the takeaways you want from this section, and I'm going to put up some real neat videos on charismatic leadership and transformational leadership. But just remember that a few leaders only are able to adopt either transformational or transactional perspectives all at once. It depends on the need for that type of leadership. It depends on the circumstances. Others are able to do one or the other, but usually not both. And someone with charisma is more likely to influence others than someone without charisma. Then it is worth noting, too, that taking over a leadership role from someone who is highly charismatic is a challenge, and early positive results are important for them to gain credibility. So, something to reflect on. What attributes are make a charismatic leader? Okay, what attributes make a charismatic leader. So I want to quickly also go into learning objective 9.5. It's not very large here, but it's to identify and discuss leadership substitutes and neutralizers. Leadership substitutes are individual tasks and organizational characteristics that tend to outweigh the need for a leader to initiate or direct employee performance. In other words, when certain individual abilities and experiences, training, knowledge, motivation, and our professionalism are present, people can perform well without a designated leader. For example, an ER specialist knows what to do. If you're in the emergency room, you know what to do when a leader isn't present. And there are leadership neutralizers. Leadership neutralizers are factors that may render certain leadership behaviors ineffective. That means that examples of leadership neutralizers include long-standing norms, group cohesion, elements of the job, and organizational factors. An example would be an inexperienced leader assigned to a very experienced group with long-standing performance norms and high group cohesiveness. Another example might be a worker on an assembly line. He or she can only work as fast as the belt is going to move. And motivational attempts on behalf of leaders could not necessarily change production rates, although some leadership might be able to reduce errors and absenteeism. So try not to confuse leadership substitutes and leadership neutralizers. Leadership neutralizers are factors that render various leadership behaviors ineffective. Substitutes are characteristics that tend to outweigh the need for a leader to initiate or direct employee performance, meaning that sometimes employees will perform their jobs capably without the direction of a leader. Again, only sometimes. So try to reflect on what you might think of as leadership neutralizers and leadership substitutes. That is the end of today's lecture. Go into the PowerPoints for tomorrow, not today. I'm going to put up a few neat YouTube videos and you can watch them. This is the end of this phase of lecture.